I'm going to take you through some inside details that's coming in. India Today has accessed on the Manipur violence, the state which is volatile. Ministry of Home Affairs sources tell us the total deaths since May accounts to 150. Over 502 people injured in the violence, over 5,100 cases of arson, over 6,000 cases FIRs that's been registered in totality. As Manipur violence reports coming in, India Today accesses some key details. As per the Home Ministry sources, we understand that total deaths since May has been reported at 150. People, unfortunately, 150 people have lost their lives. Over 502 people have been injured. Over 5,100 cases of arson that's been reported, and 6,000 FIRs that's formally been registered. Now, how many FIRs have been pursued is, or how many of them at this point? What we know is that Manipur is still volatile. At least 3 months that we're seeing violence has hit the state in different parts. They're still struggling with bouts of violence in the state, but thankfully no death reported over the last 10 days at least. Rahul Kaval joins us for more. Rahul, the key details here is that 150 people have lost their lives ever since the violence began roughly about 3 months ago, and we believe nearly 6,000 FIRs that have been registered. The numbers are alarming.
Oh, absolutely. I was having a word this morning with Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh, and the key point that the Chief Minister is making is that because of the sheer number of FIRs which have been registered, it was very difficult for him to know which particular incident might lead to a furor. He says that you're looking at that one rape horror video which has caused a national uproar, and he understands what's happening. But he said, from my perspective, there were 6,000 plus FIRs, and my first effort was to douse the immediate fire and to bring the situation to the extent possible under control. Now, from what we've gathered from the senior most sources in the government is that an effort is underway at the level of the Home Minister to speak to representatives of both the Kuki and the Meitei communities through senior retired government officials who are playing the role of an intermediary to try and bring both these communities onto the negotiating table. Senior government sources indicating that they believe that they are close to a breakthrough, or at least they are at an advanced stage to try and bring these communities together. There is no visible manifestation of that hope yet. Nothing's been said in public which would suggest that the Kuki and the Meitei communities could come on the table, but in the back channel talks we're being told that some progress has been made. Now, opinion amongst the Kuki and the Meitei communities seem to be divided amongst those who are representing these communities in the parleys with the government. On the one side, you've got those who say, okay, let's try and douse the immediate fire and sit and talk about what's happening right now and bring the current situation under control. And then you've got those who say that that's not what this fight is about. The Kuki community wants a separate administrative zone. The Meiteis want scheduled tribe status until that is discussed as well, and there is some resolution around those key contentious issues. They don't see any resolution being possible. So opinion is divided, but efforts on at the highest levels behind the scenes to try and bring these warring factions to the talking table.
Right. You know, Rahul, from what we see, fresh round of firing was reported in a part of Manipur today as well. So despite central forces being on tour, we know that violence hasn't completely brought under control, and that's again concerning. We see that young boys have held arms at visuals that came in from yesterday where young boys were holding guns and guarding their villages. Is there a way to douse that kind of tension that still prevails with immediate effect?
I asked this question to senior Ministry of Home Affairs officials in that detailed briefing last evening, and from what I gathered, many of the local police personnel started thinking about themselves not as law enforcers but either as Meiteis or Kukis. And I asked about how unarmed people could just walk in, walk away with all the armaments inside a police station. How is that even conceivable? To which they said it's not as if these were forcibly taken away after a gun battle. They came in, the local police personnel started acting as per their ethnic identity and just gave the weapons away to other members from their community. So it's not like they were grabbed. Now those weapons are at this moment one of the most dangerous aspects of the current situation in Manipur. In the valley area, you've got the Meiteis community. There's a buffer zone that's been created using 36,000 plus security personnel from the army, the Assam Rifles, the Central Armed Police Force, the CRPF, and then you've got the hill villages of the Kuki community where a lot of these weapons are deployed, and efforts are on. Appeals have been made to try and get these weapons back. None of those appeals succeeding in any meaningful fashion so far. And yes, those weapons, which is why they're talking to the community elders in the hope that if some agreement can be reached with the community elders, they will then be able to talk sense to this young generation and get them to give up their arms.